Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello. And
the other shoe has dropped at Netflix. We're going to talk about Netflix laying a bunch of people off, 300 more positions cut.
Which is, hey, we don't want people to lose their jobs.
No. And I want to be clear. We're not sitting here like, hey, you're unemployed, yay. But Netflix is definitely pivoting its business model. They're pivoting the profit. Most of the shows that have been cut have been shows that I would consider to be more niche, more activist-minded programming.
Right, and they got rid of their ta-dum, which really was why they even needed that. Why they even need that, I don't know.
Just take the ta off.
Yeah, it was really, it's no offense to people that are working there, but it was like, why?
Yeah, so they got rid of their blog. They're getting rid of, shows like Anti-Racist Baby, which nobody was going to watch. And they're definitely trying to become more profitable, more streamlined. They're going to add ads to Netflix.
Of course, yes.
Knew this was going to happen.
Disney's not far behind.
Disney's not far behind. So they have to. There are other options out there. There are other free streaming services out there that are ad supported that have more content than you could ever watch in a lifetime. Why are you gonna pay an extra $20 a month, $70 a month for Hulu or whatever if you can watch this other stuff? So of course they're gonna do it.
Right.
Of course they're gonna do it. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about some news on the animation front too. But before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 271,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciated. We have been covering the situation with Netflix. Animation was heavily affected by the layoffs and the cutbacks because animation is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, That being said, this is interesting. The Odd Ones Out on YouTube. If you're not familiar with James, he is a YouTube animator. He's been doing storytime animations on YouTube for, probably 8 or 10 years now.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while.
Kids watched him all the time.
Oh, yeah, they used to watch him all the time. And he was incredibly popular. Well, he has an animated series coming out from Netflix. And he did this by doing an end run around the Hollywood system. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen is if you want to get your animated series picked up by Netflix or another streaming service, you're going to have a platform that you built yourself. Mm-hmm. Because they're going to keep shows like The Odd Ones Out or Oddballs.
Well, yeah, because they have an audience. They know people are going to watch it. They know that they're going to get their return on investment from that show. It's like, why do publishing companies keep giving people that are YouTubers book deals? Like, you do a Minecraft book or you do a book about you and your family on your channel and all that. Because they know they'll sell the books.
Yes, that's exactly it. And people are like, well, that's not fair. They're, cut in line. I'm like, no. It's totally fair because if you're going to dump money into a project, you're going to look at it and be like, oh, this person's got, how many millions of followers? Yeah. Well, even if a small percentage of those people bought the book or watched the show, we're going to make money.
Right. It's like Cocomelon. It's like, why did they spend so much money on it? Because they knew they'd get their money back and Absolutely. They knew that it has demand. Same with these shows. If you could have Anti-Racist Baby or Oddballs from Odd Ones Out, which one do you think people are going to watch? The most.
Yeah, and that's true. So let's talk about the layoffs first, and then we'll talk about the ads. Variety has it. Netflix begins second round of layoffs, 300 positions cut. Cuts are across multiple business functions in the company, with the bulk of the jobs lost in the U.S. These new layoffs, which Variety first reported would be coming earlier this week, hit just a few weeks after the streaming giant, which has a global workforce of 11,000 staffers, made an initial round of reductions in May. At that time, Netflix only laid off 150 employees.
Right.
And a lot of them, and dozens of contractors and part-time workers.
Now, they were expecting another round of layoffs. They were thinking we're going to be about the same amount, but it was double the amount of last time.
So they're talking that the next earning call, we're going to find out that Netflix lost millions.
Probably. They said that, last time what happened was it was supposed to gain a couple million subscribers, and not only did it not gain that, it lost 200,000 in addition to the not making the gains at all. And they're expecting this next quarter to be far worse. And I think it's not just going to be Netflix. I think you're going to see it across the board.
Yeah, I think there are and tech companies especially now, with the recession coming, a lot of tech companies the tech stocks are crumbling.
I think that's a big part of it too. Families, okay, you buy food or you can have Netflix. Which one are you going to do?
Yeah.
You could, have food or you can pay for, Hulu with live TV. Which one are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, we were in that position years ago where we didn't have DirecTV or cable or anything. We had like an antenna and some streaming, and that was
Right.
it.
Well, our kids mostly watch YouTube anyway.
Yeah, so it wasn't a big
they're
deal.
saying electric and all these utilities are going to go up. Well, I can pay for my electric, or I can not have electricity but subscribe to something I can't watch because I don't have electricity.
Yeah, so they're going to use this as an opportunity to pivot to profit. They're doing a 180 from what Disney's doing. They're doubling down on the content that is going to bring them viewers, whether it's comedy. Ricky Gervais, I guess his special is like one of the most viewed ever.
Yeah, I saw
on
that.
Netflix.
Well, do you remember, we talked about it a while back, that they have new technology where they can actually put ads into shows?
Yeah.
Like, where they can change, like they could have a scene, they could have like a generic cup, and they could put different cup people on it, like different I wonder, are they going to start doing that on top of this just to try to get extra money?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I remember Disney was investing in it, I think. And I remember they had the technology to do that. And I was like, wow, that's really shit. But okay.
Well, I could totally see them doing that. It's kind of like with Zoom calls where they can put the background in. In this case, it'd be like, oh, okay, well, today the background is Coke. Tomorrow the background is Pepsi.
Right, whoever paid.
Whoever paid the most.
Tomorrow, the day after that, it's Clownfish TV. No,
the day after that, it's Clownfish TV. So this is why. Netflix has lost close to 70% of its value.
Yes.
Since they announced it had lost 200,000 subscribers. Now, here's where it's going to get really tricky because they're talking they could lose 2 million more next quarter. Disney is looking at potentially losing 20 million.
Right. But it was funny. Market Watch did a story today, I noticed. They're like, oh, but the parks aren't slowing down. So, maybe they're just being practical and the parks are going to make it up. It's not about losing the money because those people don't pay that much. It's going to be a hit. But the optics of 20 million lost subscribers is what's going to hurt them.
Right, that's the thing, because these are subscribers in India who are mad that Disney isn't going to have cricket anymore. Mm-hmm. They passed on the streaming rights because it was like billions of dollars. But all the headlines are going to say is Disney Plus lost 20 million subscribers. Mm-hmm. They're down. Even if they gain 5 million, they're still down 20 million, which is huge. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they submitted or committed to cutting costs in order to keep its margins at 20%. The streamer still plans to spend aggressively on content. The streamer still plans to spend aggressively on content with a budget of $17 billion in 2022 for shows and films. That's roughly in line with what it shelled out in 2021. But this is what they're going to do. They're going to take the opportunity, just like Kickstarter, and be like, now we can get rid of shows that maybe we greenlit, that we had buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm. There's been issues since.
There have been issues since, maybe with the people working on the shows.
They're difficult or whatever.
Now we really didn't want to do to dumb, but we got kind of forced into doing it. Now we have an out. Okay, and Kickstarter did this. They had a union and they had some employees at Kickstarter that wanted to gatekeep the platform. And as soon as they hit a bump in the road, even though it was a temporary blip, it was just a couple of months they were down. They're like, oh yeah, sorry guys, see ya. And then they hired replacements almost immediately. What they're going to do is they're going to cancel a bunch of animated shows that they don't think are going to perform. They're going to greenlight stuff they think is going to perform. And then they're going to be like, yeah, we just, at the time, we just didn't think there was, much of an audience for it. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't you. It wasn't because you're on Twitter every day screaming about stuff and making life difficult for us. It had nothing to do with that, or screaming at your coworkers, or trying to push an agenda using millions of our dollars. It had nothing to do with that. Just we had an economic downturn. That's how they walk. That's how they get out of the situation scot-free.
Yep.
And that's what I think Disney is going to wind up doing at some point too. They're going to be like, well, yeah, those movies are bombing at the box office, and the Disney Plus numbers aren't there. I guess we're not going to do any more of that.
I have an important question.
Yes.
Who is Scott, and why is he always free?
I don't know. He's not a very good. If he's a gigolo, he's a really bad one.
I'm just saying.
You can't make money that way. Anyway, so now they're going to do ads. Of course, Ted Sarandos says streaming platform is bringing ads to it. Of course they are.
They've said this before.
Yeah, and they have to. They have to. They said in April, the streamer broached the idea of the cheaper ad-supported tier to customers after announcing a loss of 200,000, and now it's going to happen. They're already, I guess, other outlets are talking about, they're trying to make deals with like Comcast and stuff like that.
So like they do with cable?
Yeah, that's basically it. So basically what has happened is that all of these streaming services have become the new cable. They've become the new broadcast television, you know.
Yeah, and then when they announced this, their stock went up some.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting.
They make the announcement, and now it's climbing, which is why they made the announcement.
Pivot to profit. Pivot to profit. Now, I don't think they're ever going to hit this, $675 or whatever they.
No, that was mostly because of the pandemic. Let's be honest.
That was everybody was locked in their houses. They were binge watching shows, and now things are going to normalize. I think they'll come back to about 300 or so, but they're going to have to produce programming that people want to watch. They're going to have to produce programming that has a built-in audience, you know, and stop. And if you're going to reboot something, for the love of God, make sure you don't alienate the fan base. Cowboy Bebop, Masters of the Universe, Revelation. And the only reason that's getting greenlit, I'm telling you, is because Mattel's kicking in the money for it, and they probably had to deal with Powerhouse. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.